Coach, as you look at the duration of this game, obviously your team did a lot of really good things tonight, put up 99 points. What did you like most about what they did on the floor?
You know, there was a time in the second half, kind of early on, where in one of the timeouts, really challenged them. I thought our level of focus wasn't where it should have been, and so on both ends. And I thought the way they responded to that challenge, I thought the game was over once they did that. And so, that was something that we'll definitely take from this, and was proud of the guys of their response.
You mentioned the defensive intensity you wanted to see improved at halftime. How'd you feel they responded to that challenge?
Yeah, better. I watched a lot of those threes at halftime. Some of them were just bad bounces and so forth, but I thought our level of urgency was better in the second half. Just some of the attention to detail that we kind of talked about.
What are you seeing in the development of your bench through 3 games?
Yeah, I think Elijah's slowing down. I think he's not trying to make home run plays. He's just being super solid. Foose is a guy who we're trying to play through a bit more, both up top and down low. Dawson got going tonight, which was really good to see. That's what he can do. He can score the basketball. Mihailo, he brings a lot of energy, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But no, it's Dr. J with the reverse layups. But just like his IQ and just his feel for the game, I think I've said it before, but it just kind of settles us down a little bit.
Yegor told me that's the Serbian sauce. Are you cool with that?
I can get on board with that for sure. Yeah.
Let's go back to Dawson Baker, who had 22 points tonight. He was a little frustrated early in the season. Some of his early games, the shot wasn't falling. So what changed for him tonight?
I don't know if much changed. I thought, what I noticed without watching the film was just he was being really efficient. He wasn't over dribbling. We were trying to be a bit more mindful of kind of calling his number a little bit earlier to try to help him get going, but I just loved his efficiency. I thought he made quick decisions. I thought he made the right decision most of the time. And, he's a guy that we're going to need. We're going to need a guy, like him that can come in off the bench and put points on the board for us.
Obviously, Queens is a team that likes to shoot a lot of threes, and when they get going, they get going. Chris Burgess told me a point of emphasis in practice this week because of what happened against Riverside was defending the three-point line. So how do you feel like your team's doing in that regard?
Pretty good. They had, and to give their players and coaches credit, they had guys who, we weren't as worried about. Ashby's a guy we want to limit his attempts. And in fact, let's go to the stat sheet on that. He was 0 of 6, right? And so that's tremendous. He was the one guy we really wanted to limit. He's kind of their guy. But again, you have to give them credit. Other guys made shots. But in terms of what we emphasized, I was happy with it for the most part.
What's item number 1 on your practice agenda as you get ready for the next game?
There's a lot of stuff that we're trying to, get through. We spent a lot of time just getting our base in. Now it's situational stuff. It's 2-for-1s. It's end of game. It's, mixing up our defenses. And so there's a checklist on my board at my office that we're kind of mowing down every day. We got another game coming up here this weekend, and after that we got a week of practice, and so trying to just prioritize some of those situational things.
How are things calming down for you and the staff as you yourself as a unit gel along with your team?
No, that's something I don't think people understand, how hard that is, right? And so it's a work in progress. There's a clear, everyone has a clear role. Guys are doing a great job trying to be the star in their roles from a coaching staff standpoint. So it's a work in progress, just hoping by the time we get to that conference play that we're kind of a well-oiled machine.
One play I want to point out specifically, and this goes back to something we talked about last game when Yegor rolled the rim, or at least he said it was a pass off the glass. That looked like a pass from Dawson Baker tonight to Keba Keita. Was that the play you were talking about?
We got to stop with all the passes off the glass. These guys are shooting all those balls. But all jokes aside, no, I thought I'd have to go back and look at that particular one. The one I loved from Dawson is when he kind of got into the paint and kind of, we call it a Luka, where he really slowed down through that late lob to Keba. I thought that was a really good read. So happy with some of the carryover of things we've been talking about with these guys.
Speaking of Keba, how are you seeing his progression within this BYU offense?
I'm thrilled with what he's doing. I think the pick and roll stuff has been exactly what I would want. We got to keep working with just refining his non-pick and roll stuff, just trying to get him to where he can kind of maybe get some contact a little bit more and just go up and finish without being lobs and stuff like that. But, he's such a dynamic athlete. He fits in perfectly with how we play. And I think it's cool that now there's multiple guys that are finding him on those lobs. It's a real threat for us.
What do you feel like BYU basketball's identity is through 3 games?
I think offensively, you know, we're probably a bit more ahead than we are defensively. You know, I think our pace has been really good. You know, we want to shoot a lot of threes as well. You know, we want to attack the rim and shoot threes, and for the most part, I think we've done that. You know, defensively, we got a lot of work we still need to do, but you know, I think our toughness has shown its head more than it hasn't. And those are things we've talked about a lot with our guys.
All right, one totally unrelated question to basketball, and that is, what are you seeing from BYU football that has you most excited? Because I know you're a big football guy.
Huge. I mean, just finding a way to get it done. I mean, that game the other night was ugly. You know, I know that the coaches probably weren't happy with some of the execution, but those guys just hung in there, man. They found a way to win, and you know, it says a lot about a group's you know, fortitude to just have an ugly game and walk out, especially against a rival, and walk out with the win. So just happy for Kalani, happy for all those guys. I know Jake's a big fan of what we're doing too, so I always try to, you know, show him love. But man, it's just super fun.
Will Farron was in the house tonight, and the people let him hear it, Coach.
I saw that on the big screen. So just great, man. It honestly, it reminds me when I was in Philly the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and like we fed off that. We're feeding off their energy here and stuff, and it's just really fun to be a part of.
Coach, great stuff. We appreciate the time, and congratulations.
Thank you.